I almost did not create this episode today because I feel so blah about everything. And it's my own fault. You just start thinking about all the things that are important to think about, but not all at the same time. And then it just gets to be too much. And then it puts you in a very weird brain fog when you're trying to create. Like there's zero mental clarity. So that's what we're talking about in this episode. How fun and exciting.
Thank you for tuning into My Day on Canvas podcast by Summer Silvery. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This podcast is available to stream on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. All links are in the description of this episode, including my art shop, artbysummersilvery.com.
So I promise this isn't going to be just a sad, dark episode. It's just real life. And like I said before, I didn't think that I was going to make this episode. I thought I was just going to skip altogether. But I know there are people out there that this may help. As a creative, it feels like it's so important to be in a good headspace when you're trying to create. And when I mean a good headspace, it's not necessarily like everything is figured out, I'm a happy person, great energy and all that stuff, but a headspace where you can find inspiration in either the good or the bad or the melancholy or whatever it is that you're experiencing in the moment. You can find inspiration in that and create something. Those are the places that I like to go. I go off of what I'm feeling that day or what I'm experiencing and try to dive a little deeper into that with my art. Today, I just wasn't getting there. Nothing was getting me there. I had complete brain fog. And then because of that, I spiraled into just deciding to be mean to myself and not giving myself a break and rather going down a cycle of you're wasting your time. Why aren't you doing anything today? Basically the opposite of everything that I needed to be telling myself. At the beginning of the day, I was thinking about where I am in life right now. And I'm about to be in my 30s in 6 months. Oh my gosh. And I was just thinking about what that means as a creative, as a woman, and also as someone who is getting older and kind of has a time clock pressed on her as a female with having a family and all of that stuff. And it's so different in your early 20s than in your later 20s. Everything is so different. Trying to figure it out, what it is that lights you up, what you want to do the rest of your life, how you're going to set that stability up and all of that stuff. There's so much more freedom in your early 20s because you feel like you have all the time in the world. I still feel like I have all the time in the world, but there are certain time blocks that I have as well. Like starting a family requires having stable income. Having stable income requires you to not mess up on the creative things that you're doing so that you can have a solid foundation and all that stuff, all the adulty stuff. And I just got so deep and thought about that going, what have I been doing the last 7 years? And I would not take any of it back. And every other day I think about how insanely incredible it is that I went from Ohio to California, from dropping out of college, working for myself, to having the ability to find what it is that I love to do. But it's these days, like it's these weird days where your brain wants to turn against you. And it all started this morning. I was already in sort of a brain fog creatively, just trying to set up my week, and everything just started toppling on top of each other. When you're trying to go your own direction and the path is yet to be laid for you specifically, and you're choosing something that people don't have a rule book for. Obviously, we're all living life the best way we know how, and none of us has a rule book. But when you are choosing to take a leap of faith on yourself and create this path that you have no idea if it's going to work or not, all you can do is try your best. It's a lot. It's a lot, but all of the unknowns is 100% what I live for. I love that I can wake up in the morning and it's not the same day that I experienced yesterday. That is something that I absolutely love. We all are trying to make it in the best way we know how to in this life, where we can find the happiness that we're looking for and keep going after it. There are days like today where you just don't feel like doing anything. There is no inspiration, your brain's shut off, there's no mental clarity. I guess I would suggest to you, since I'm still kind of in this fog and annoying state, is don't go down a spiraling tunnel of negativity. Be easy on yourself. When you feel like nothing is coming to you, don't feel like you're wasting your time. And then don't start thinking about all the other things in your life and turning them negative somehow. So I created my day on canvas to go over my day on canvas as a creative. And even though I did not have a day on canvas, I had a day that I know other people could probably relate to. Today's episode is a little shorter than normal, but I feel like I got my message across. And I hope those who are listening that can relate a little bit to what I was going through today can have a little peace of mind that you're not alone in it. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to episode 9 of My Day on Canvas. I will meet you at the next one.